Hey everybody, welcome back to the Soholux Realty YouTube channel. I'm Davis and I'm partnered in about 100 multifamily units. This is Chris. He owns outright, no partners, about 800 multifamily units, 300,000 square feet of industrial space, and flips, I don't know what, 100 houses a year?
Yeah.
About 100 houses a year on average.
Yeah.
Today I'm going to be interviewing Chris, asking him about tips of the trade, how he does the volume in houses, what his philosophy is on money, and much more. So make sure you stay tuned. If you have any questions, as always, drop them below in the comments, like this video, and share this video with someone interested in real estate who wants to make a bunch of money. So Chris, 100 houses a year on average.
Yeah.
What's the most you've ever done in 1 year? And what year was it?
Right after COVID, we did like 53 million in sales.
So was that 21?
Yeah, 22.
Okay, 22.
Coming out of COVID, yeah.
Okay, all right, so that's the year.
That was like the market was like the peak. Now we're like in the mid 40 million range.
Okay, so 53
Yes.
million gross.
Yes.
Tell me about like, how does that equate to net? Like, what's the margin on that?
Roughly about 10%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so 10% of what you gross,
Net.
you're netting.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So talk to me a little bit about how you got started. So flipping houses, that's your main source of
Yes.
earned income.
Yes.
Okay, how long you been doing it?
So I've been flipping houses for like 10 years. So basically I've just been using that money and just rolling it over into commercial real estate ever since. Every single thing I would take from flipping houses is just buy apartments and industrial and whatever, anything. And just basically use all that money every single year. You take that money because when you buy those things, you can depreciate them and don't have to pay taxes. So it's like this
Hold on,
back
hold
and
on. So for the average listener,
I get excited. So
let's
yeah.
take a breath and take a step back. So,
Okay.
so how did you get started in flipping? Number one, and number two, how did you know that that was the right vehicle for you to be a part of?
I've always wanted to flip houses. I've saw stuff on HGTV where they're like flipping stuff, making 100 grand in like 3 days, and I'm like, there's got to be something to this, and just started looking into it, and then basically about 10 years ago just started flipping, and then we did 21 year, 40 the next year, 60 the next year, and just kind of started scaling. The reason it works, there's a bunch of people that flip houses, but volume is harder in flipping houses because mine's like a simple, quick model where it's like $20,000 to $50,000 in and out. A couple months, not like these big rehabs, but more of a volume thing.
Yeah.
Where we're just in and out. So
Okay.
it's
So
simpler.
you're basically saying you're focused on an entry price point of
Yeah,
like
correct. Under 400 grand. Yeah.
under 400 grand.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the average person out there that may have interest in flipping a house or real estate, what would your advice be to them in terms of getting started? Like if you were starting all over right now today, what would your advice be?
Just to start and try and like do some stuff, and like you might go pay 80 grand for a college education and go to school. You might as well like people are worried about losing money in a house. It's not ideal, but it's better to learn how to do it. And like I know a bunch of people that have gone in there and tried and done a bunch of stuff and lost money. Like, okay, that's fine, but you figured it out, and now in the next house you know what to do wrong, and like because you can make multiple 7 figures a year flipping houses, and people can do it. It's just they're scared to even lend the money, start the process, figure out you're not going to learn until you screw a couple of them up, unfortunately. I feel like people are just paralyzed by fear. But once you get past that and start getting in there and like figure, okay, this is like, here's my system, here's what I'm going to do, here's my contractors, and here's what I'm going to screw up, then you kind of get the momentum. And then, it's kind of with anything, but like I've seen that most people get locked out by the fear of that.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
saying like it's necessary to take action.
Correct.
Now, let me flip it and get more specific.
Yeah.
If you were restarting today, you hadn't flipped any houses in your life, let's just call it 1 to 3 things would you do differently, like from mistakes that you've made today?
I would do the exact same thing. Basically we're staying under $500,000, which in Raleigh, North Carolina is like the median price point. So it's a very high demand product. They're simple rehabs where you can do them quickly. They're not these like $100,000, $200,000 rehabs that are super long and complicated where you can go way over budget and screw things up. I would say if you're first starting, get like, for example, like a double wide where you can buy these things super, like 150 grand, put like 30 grand into them, sell them for like mid 200. You can like, there's not as much risk, and just go through the process and learn it and do some simple ones. Again, even if you made like 5 or 10 grand, that's not the most important thing when you get started, because you have to understand your system, like get going, and then start to like scale and do more through that. Like just go through the steps.
Gotcha.
I think
Gotcha.
there's a lot of paralysis around the steps and understanding how to do it.
Yeah, for sure. So you talked earlier about how you're using your earned income. Do you think a house is a good investment?
For a rental?
Yes.
I mean, houses are good investments for rentals. I think if you're gonna live in it, it's okay. But right now, it's hard to cash flow a single family home. And if you can go buy like a quad or 10 units or something like reasonable, small size, even a freaking duplex, if you're gonna live on the other side, like just to be able to get a little bit more scale initially. And then like the first couple ones I bought were like duplexes and I refinanced them. I mean, the game is if you can buy it, like if you can buy a $300,000 duplex for like 220 and put 30 grand into it and cash out refi like 260 or whatever, you're getting the majority of your cash back and then roll it over into the next one, and the next one, the next one, because like that is the game of how you get a lot of stuff. And then even if you're cash flowing a little bit, like it helps.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of like depreciation, so it's like rolling it over,
Okay.
like
So
because you're gonna run, yeah.
so let's rewind a little bit. So at first it was flipping homes. You did your first one, scaled up to 20, did 40 the next year. Like you found something that worked and you started scaling it and making more money. How did the investment piece come into play? Like at what point did you stop saying, "Oh man, I'm making a bunch of money," and not doing anything with it? At what point were you like, "I need to take action with this money," and what led you to it being real estate?
I got a really big tax bill right after COVID, my biggest year, and I didn't have any tax planning, and I got about a half of my income. It was taxed, which was like a substantially large tax bill, and it was like a paralyzing shock, like to my core because it was like, wow, I just worked my half of my year to pay taxes, like literally from 8 a.m. to like 12 every day to like pay taxes. I'm like, I'm never gonna do this again, and so basically started buying a bunch of commercial real estate. And when you buy it, you get depreciation, which offsets your earned income. So if I'm making, let's say, $1 million over here, and you go buy a bunch of real estate, enough of it to offset that, you won't pay tax on the $1 million, for example. So that's, without getting too complicated, that's pretty big because a lot of us are just making money, but we're not paying attention to our biggest expense, which is taxes. And so then we basically started buying more commercial, and then I realized that once you get into commercial, you can really make more money in commercial. Like we bought an apartment complex for 5.5. We put $2 million into it and it appraised for 13.5, like a year and a half later. That's just like one example, but like there's a lot of equity and a lot of like value in obviously residential, multifamily. Like now we're doing more industrial because industrial is a little bit easier. You have triple net tenants. You can still create value, but it's just a little bit simpler. Multifamilies, got some headaches to it, but yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned depreciation. So for the average listener out there, he's referencing the Trump initiative, which is the 100% accelerated depreciation in year one.
Yeah.
So typically, depreciation is straight line over a 27.5 year period. But you're saying if you're a full-time real estate professional, you can fully depreciate that asset in year one and then have that offset your top line income.
Yeah, correct.
Gotcha. So, but I mean, okay, so real estate, you get the depreciation, I understand that. Why not cryptocurrency, the stock market? Like, do you see any other vehicles that have your attention, or why is it so heavily focused on real estate?
I mean, there is a lot of opportunity in other markets. I mean, real estate's tangible and it's not going anywhere. As asset values, like crypto, and as things change, like hard assets are going to still stay valuable in this market. Like multifamily and now industrial, I think kind of the trend is going towards like industrial and things like that. There's more of a demand for that now, and there will be in the future as Amazon and things like that happen. So it's a cash flowing asset that's gonna send you money every single month compared to crypto, which is a different asset class. But I mean, I think what you do is make that money and then you go park it in your crypto or you go put it in other places. But I mean, this is just a cash vehicle to make money to put in other places.
All right, so last question, Chris. If you're a guy out there, let's just say you went to college, you didn't learn much. Honestly, you're getting out of college and you have like $5,000 to your name, if that, $1 to $5,000 in your bank account, how would you advise that guy or gal right now to start making money and become successful if they're starting at that position?
Go get some credit cards. So I mean, this is horrible advice, but I went to every single bank in one day and got like 7 credit cards, each with like 5 to 20 grand limits, and then went and got some personal lines of credit, like 10 to 30 grand each, and but maybe like roughly 100, I don't remember, it was like 120 grand or something in like a couple days. And it was all my personal name. But then, like, let's say I'm gonna go flip a house, I need 30 grand in cash. Like, it lets me have the money down. It lets me also have the money to do whatever with it. So, like, the availability of credit is gonna be important. And so I would just go get a bunch of, like, you don't have to use it. People get scared. Like, but if you have a single family home and you have a bunch of equity in it, like, go get an equity line against the house and use that, because it's the cheapest money you'll get. And so then you can scale that and roll it over. Obviously, be responsible with it, but like you can, and leverage off that. Obviously, like, but I think the biggest thing for me is taking what you have and then refinancing it and using those assets to grow. Every single time we bought something, every single time we'd always refinance it to max leverage, didn't care, and then just buy something else, because then you can scale and because you're going to come to a point where you're running out of cash, and so it's going to create the value in the asset, leverage it, and then go to the next one. Leverage it, and so obviously you have to do it smart, but just continue the rollover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're gonna wrap this here. Maybe we'll come back with a part 2 with Chris. Like the video if you want a part 2. Comment, let us know you want the part 2, and we'll catch you later. Thanks.